they're all really good. So there's choices now. Whereas when Flickr was grown, it was kind of, it moved into the neighborhood before anybody got there. So it's, I to the question of can they bring Flickr back to its earlier greatness? I would argue no, and like you said, Doug, I don't know if you'd want to go back then. Maybe it's time for
Yeah.
something completely different and new and fresh. So I don't know. But the other piece of this is like other companies like 500px, right? So 500px came on strong and then got acquired by some Chinese entity, and things changed over there somewhat, right?
Yeah.
So the Uber question for this part of the conversation is what's up with the photo sharing industry, right?
Right.
Is the Flickr smug mug entity now the 500-pound gorilla that everyone is swimming to catch, or is the idea of putting all your eggs in a particular basket with a username and password with someone like a smug mug or Flickr, are those days over and we're going to do something completely different? Craig, what do you think?
I try not to predict the future, but
Predict it, man.
it
Come on, this is
it
podcasting.
feels like an uphill slog to try and go back in time. And if the hope of SmugMug is that community that we're not aware of, which it feels like you have the option to make all your galleries public and commentable and searchable and all that. It feels like, as far as we know, that hasn't been as thriving as they like. If they're hoping to bring in uh, what used to be at Flickr, along with their model, which has not gotten maybe the social media traction that they'd hoped for, that that doesn't seem likely.
Yeah.
Um, if it's a goodwill gesture to say, "Hey, we were able to buy this," if we keep this going, we're doing a service to the community. I think that's great, and because there are a lot of people that are going to, um, always be there, and
Hmm.
they're committed to that space. Um, and it sounds like, Doug, you're not planning on canceling your pro membership, and you've got friends there. There's a community, I'm sure, and I do think that there is a service there, and if that's what they're planning on doing, that's a huge service to that community.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think also I mean, if you look at it from just numbers, the whiteboard that I'm sure the Smug Mug guys were in front of for hours and hours as they were figuring out how they're going to do this, I would bet part of that math boils down to Flickr has X million number of users. This percentage, who knows what the number is, this percentage we could probably convert to paying Smug Mug accounts, right?
Right.
And a small number versus, multiplied by a very big number equals a huge number of revenue. So this could, if SmugMug executes right, this could equal a huge growth spurt for them, right? In terms of just
Sure.
users that come in, even if it's a tiny percentage of the overall user base that Yahoo is bringing to the table. Now, if it's a large percentage of that user base, then it's a completely different company now, right?
Yeah.
It's gigantic.
And if there's an opt-in integration of your high-res files from Flickr, then that makes it easy to go to the next step in terms of all the excellent pro options
Yeah.
that are offered through SmugMug.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's going to be an interesting space to watch. Like I said, there's lots of players out there, and I have a SmugMug account, I have a Flickr account, I have a PixieSet account, I've got a Format.com account. I've got accounts all over the place, and that's part of the problem, right? Because
Yeah.
you want to pick one horse and ride it, but then things keep happening, and shiny object, and you get lured to the other one.